first episode, we woke the El Camino from its 10-year slumber and brought it back to the Dupli-Color Garage. Now that we know it runs, it's time to get the driveline pulled out and prepped for paint. All right, we're working on disconnecting everything from this engine. Got the radiator drained so we can get everything moved out of the way, get the engine out of the car, get it cleaned up and ready for paint. All right, so I'm removing this final header bolt here. That should be about it for the exhaust attached to the engine. I'm gonna do a walk around, make sure we have everything else disconnected. We'll get the cherry picker hooked up and get this motor pulled out. Check out Mount Busty. All right, so we took the hood off, of course. We have everything on, whoa! We had everything unbolted, the exhaust, motor mounts, transmission is still on it. We're gonna mess with the transmission to make sure it's out of the way once we pull it up. And I think we're about good to go. I gotta unplug one more plug back here, since this is up and out of the way. I can get my hand back here, I think. Oil pressure sensor plug is still hooked up. I think that is the last piece of the puzzle here. This motor will come out. I can get to it. Whew. Got it. All right, go ahead. Oh, you know, hold on. You got ground wire. All right, so the motor's out. We pulled the motor and the transmission together just because it was a lot easier to do that so we can get to these bell housing bolts, unbolt those, separate the motor and the transmission, which we're doing right now, and then we'll get the motor up on the engine stand, get it all cleaned up, and get it prepped for paint. All right, so we have the engine here on the engine stand, and we are working with 40 years of grease and grime here. So with any paint project, one of the most important steps, of course, is prep. And what we need to do here is scrape off this heavy grease, use a wire brush, use a putty knife, whatever you got. We're gonna hose it down with a good quality degreaser, get that off of there, finish it off with some Dupli-Color Prep Spray, let it dry, remask any areas that we need to, sand any paint areas that we also need to, make sure it's clean again with the prep spray, dry, and we're ready for paint. In the next episode, we finish up prep work on the El Camino's driveline, accessory pulleys and brackets so we can lay down a fresh coat of Dupli-Color's engine enamel primer and color. To keep up on the latest from Dupli-Color, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and visit duplicolor.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more great videos from Dupli-Color.